Hello everyone. Hi, Sean from Property MR. How's everyone today? It has been about more than a week since I do a Facebook Live. I guess everyone is actually very busy, especially in Singapore. We are actually quite busy with our elections. So I'm actually very engrossed with what's going on for the past one whole week. So actually, it's kind of a very interesting how do I put it? It was a very interesting period for us lah, because this is like this is the first time that we ever had a election in the midst of a COVID-19. So it was very exciting in a sense because there is a lot because of the current COVID. So there is a lot of we don't really carry out any rally these days because of the social distancing. So a lot of the activities were actually brought into online. So I was actually going through all these e-rallies that I managed to actually benefit a lot because all of them have their political stance, and it was kind of eye-opening because you see usual days, right, we are actually so very busy with our work. We have actually no chance or no time to actually look into all these matters. So I guess it was quite a decent result for everyone, uh, and it's time for us to actually put this behind our back and we start to focus on our work again, to back to normal, because wherever it is, life still goes on. We still have to actually work very hard for our loved ones, for our families. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about this very interesting topic again. Wait, let me hold it up first. Okay, today I'm going to talk about this. Okay, what your school never taught you about money. Okay, actually, this topic wasn't for me. It was from as I was like glancing through, picking up some of my books. Right, I managed to actually get a old book. Okay, I got it from a library. The one that I have, I loaned it to someone. Okay, this book written by the late Mr. Dennis Ng. Okay, in 2011. Okay, if you also remember, 2011 is where the Lehman Brothers time. We are actually recovering from the Lehman Brothers time. Okay, so he wrote this book. Okay, during that time to actually address of the financial, how do I say, his financial wisdom. Okay, that he would like to pass down to fellow Singaporeans. Okay, so I think it's a very appropriate time to actually we take back this book and actually glance through it, because we are actually in the midst of a financial, not say financial crisis, we're in the midst of economic downturn. Okay, the last time that we Singapore faced such a severe one was like exactly around this time, 2011. So it's kind of coincidence that actually I flipped, well, the one that I have, I borrowed to someone. So I was looking through my how do I put it? Looking through my books, I couldn't find it. So what I did is actually I ran to the library. Okay, the moment that the library opened last week, last Friday, last week, this Monday, last week. So I straight away go and borrow this book already, because this book, to me personally, okay, I felt that this book benefit me a lot. Okay, it teach me a lot of concept on financial planning. Okay, be it property, be it equity, or be it saving. Okay, the importance of saving. Okay, so that's I really recommend you guys to actually go and borrow this. I don't think there is any hard copies these days. Okay, so if those guys who really would like to have a copy of this book might have to go to libraries. Okay, I managed to get it from Toa Payoh Library. Okay, so it's very important that uh, I think now is a good time to actually read through this, because while I was glancing this book again, right, after so many years, I bought this book in 2011. So I was glancing it over the weekend. Okay, during election time, I as I went got time, I flipped through a lot of the concept that Mr. Dennis, the late Mr. Dennis Ng shared, is still very relevant. Okay, it's quite timeless because the strategy that the method, the concept, the philosophy that he has is still very relevant to this day. I would say it's very evergreen. Okay, so today I'm, because it's one whole take of book, right? So I probably will actually go through this in a few series. So today I probably go through something that is very important as at this point of time. Okay, as what we have heard from the news today, right? Singapore is actually going through a technical recession, so that the GDP is actually plunging down for the quarter, which I believe might not be how do I put it? It will be I think the bottom, we have already seen the bottom now, because the last quarter we have actually 2 months of circuit breaker. So the thing is, there's almost zero, how do I put it, zero commercial activities going around. So now we are post COVID, post circuit breaker, so a lot of activities are slowly coming back. Surely we are actually get better lah, because I strongly believe that the worst is over. So, but it doesn't mean that we take things for granted. The plunge is still very big, so we will see better quarters performance along the way. So today I'm going to share about this very interesting one, okay, that Mr. Dennis Ng actually shared on this book. Okay, it's actually on chapter. I think it's on chapter 5, 2, 4, 6, chapter 7. Okay, this topic on, wait, let me talk it up. Okay. 5 laws of money that will pull money towards you. Okay, it's actually 5 laws of money that will pull monies over you. So you must understand, okay, that what is this 5 universal law that Mr. Dennis Ng actually talk about, that will actually help to attract money to you. Okay, and it's using a very simple concept with 5 very simple concept. Okay, so today I'll go through one by one. Okay, so the law number 1, okay, always save at least 10% of your income. Okay, if those guys who actually follow Dennis Ng, Mr. Dennis Ng previously, right, he's an advocate of savers. Okay, he always believed that saving is the fundamental start to lead to financial freedom. Okay, be it you need to have the ability to save first before we talk about investment, we talk about retirement. So he was saying that you should at least save 10% of your income. Okay, this doesn't include your CPF, because CPF is monetary. Okay, is everyone have to do it. So this why is it that he advocated 10%? Because the 10% is your cash flow to do your later parts of your financial planning. Okay, so always cultivate a saving habit, which you say at least 10%. I think it's tough these days, not so easy. But the thing is that we need to kickstart. Even you can't do a 10% at the start, you should at least save a 5%. And it has to be consistent. He mentioned very clearly, you need to be consistent. No point you hit a target of 10, but you could not 10%, but you couldn't actually abide to it. That means you consistently save. It cannot be in a case where you save in 2 months, 3 months, then next month you need to go for holidays, then you skip for 1 month, then you after your holiday you start to save again. No, it has to be a very disciplined 10%. Okay, there's a reason for this. Okay, you must cultivate a habit. Okay, this 10% might not be very significant at a very initial start. Okay, at a very initial start, but this will actually create a habit, which is very important, because a lot of us, especially now in Singapore, right, we have a lot of a lot of attractions. Okay, there is many ways for us to spend money. Okay, advertisement is everywhere, be it internet, billboards, on the roads, on the radios. Okay, there is so many ways for you to spend money. So you must always cultivate a habit. Okay, one way that I did is every start of the month I will do an auto gyro transfer to an saving account, which I will not touch. Okay, I will only touch for the later part on the second law and third law. Okay, this money is not even for rainy days. Is for me, is my bullet, is my reserve fund. When opportunity come, I will use this fund to actually expedite my wealth. Okay, my retirement plan. Okay, this is purely your bullet. Okay, your arsenal. Okay, you're not supposed to use it for anything. Okay, so this is the first law. Okay, that he mentioned. Second law, okay, second law, you must be able to grow your money. Okay, a lot of us, what does Mr. Dennis Ng means by grow your money? Okay, a lot of us, we were told that we need to be very prudent with our saving, so we end up actually put our money in our saving deposit, or if you're a bit savvy, you put into fixed deposit. But the thing is, your fixed deposit, especially in Singapore, it can only go as high as 1%, 1.25 max. But the thing is, we must also understand our inflation. Okay, our official inflation is about 3% every year. So if you start to save all your money in your bank account, in fact, your money do not actually grow. your money actually gets smaller, okay? Because the cost of living keep on going up, but your rates of saving is slower. The money doesn't grow. In fact, if you put your money inside the bank, your money actually gets smaller over times. Okay, same thing, right? The same old story, right? 20 years ago, our wanton mee is only my time. 20 years ago, maybe it's 150. So now your wanton mee these days is more than $3, easily 350, easily doubled. Okay, double over 20 years. That is a lot. It's in fact higher than the official inflation of 3%. Okay, it's double over 20 years. That means it's about 4 to 5%. So you must understand when we say that grow your money, you must always put your money in an instrument, okay, in an instrument that is at least able to actually match the inflation. Okay, there's a lot of ways that you can do it. You can actually put into equities, you can put in the unit trust, or you can even put in property if you want to. Okay, or if you are how do I say, privileged banker, maybe you are able to get privilege rates as and when. Okay, I have a friend of mine who chose to put his money overseas. Okay, he chooses to put his money overseas in places like Malaysia and some in Australia because of some of the interest rate are higher. Okay, especially in Malaysia, which is actually quite high. And I also have a business partner who is a PRC, but he's already a PR in Singapore. But the thing is, in China, right, the bank interest rate is way higher than Singapore. Okay, some can go as high as 5%. So if it's 5% and Singapore is 3%, it makes sense for you to actually park some of the money over in other countries. But the only risk that you face will be the forex, okay? Because you must understand that you always need to do a conversion rate, right? Because you might make more, you might collect more interest, bank interest in China, PRC maybe. But the thing is that if renminbi drop, Sing dollar went up, then it doesn't make sense already. Because after you convert, then it doesn't make really much sense. So this thing that you need to actually manage, okay? So always, but ultimately the key point is always manage your money, okay? Always grow your money, okay? This is very important, okay? So thirdly, we also talk about invest wisely, okay? So what he means by invest wisely, so you must be able to have knowledge, okay? So there is a lot of instrument out there, okay? There's a lot of financial instrument that insurance also have. There's a lot of unit trust that actually help you to manage all this. So you must also manage it properly, okay? That I have seen a lot of people, right? Some of my clients also, they are very pro property. So he put all his finance, all his wealth into property investment, which I think that is not wrong, but it's not so savvy in a sense, because the best way to actually preserve your wealth and let your wealth actually grow along the way through times, right, is to actually diversify does make very important part. Okay, you need to actually have multiple instruments. This is to actually reduce your risk. Okay, so for example, if all your portfolios are in maybe stocks, okay, and if there is a very big correction, or I don't like to use this word crash, but there is a big correction in the stock market price, right? Then you don't have the buffer already. You see, everything you are exposed to these particular instruments. Okay, and we know that some stocks, if yours is based on a few blue chips, for example, right, it take years for the price to recover. So if all your money are stuck in particular instrument like stocks, right, and it takes 2-3 years to recover, then what happens if you do need some finances, some cash urgently? You see, you're not able to cash it out from this main bulk of your portfolio. So if you actually spread it across equities, unit trust, some cash, or CPF, you manage to just spread across, right? You actually reduce a lot of the risk. This is what Mr. Dennis Ng was highlighting, okay? Which is why he is one of the very few guru during that time. So sad that he passed away a few years ago due to medical history. He's really one of those guru who actually advocate to have property as well as equity, okay, as part of your portfolios. Okay, very often we have property, those guru in real estate, right? They will actually advocate only real estates. They don't emphasize so much on other form of investment such as equity, or even some exotic one like paint collection, all these. Okay, artist collections. Okay, so some gurus in equities, right? They will never believe in properties, but Mr. Dennis Ng is really one of those guys who strike a good balance, you say, because he emphasized this very much. Okay, to have a very diverse portfolio. Okay, this also apply in where how do I put it? This also apply in equity. Okay, there are people like for my case, I also make this mistake. I like to have cash business, so tends to invest a lot in cash business. Those business that actually generate cash. Okay, like for example, supermarkets or F&B. Okay, so during the COVID, the CB, right? We know that F&B actually came to a standstill, okay, standstill, which actually affect my position in some of the stocks that I have. Okay, so if my portfolio is all on cash business on F&B, right, then when the market doesn't go into my way, right, my money is stuck. Okay, even I have practiced Mr. Dennis own ways of diversion, right? Diversification, right? But I still make this mistake. So this is something that I also learned during this COVID. Okay, so that we also learn from mistakes lah. So always try to spread our finances, our portfolios. Okay, the best way is still diversification and proper allocations of your positions. So this will actually help to actually minimize a lot of losses, or you won't caught into a position that you need to hold on for very long. Okay, imagine you're buying a commercial property as of now, industrial property. The market might not be on your side because we know the SME are suffering. So if all your portfolios are all in industrial, okay, in Singapore, as far as concerned as of today's state, right, residential is not impact so much. The rental are still okay. So if you are holding a few property and they are all in industrial, then you might caught in a position and say you might have a very tight situations of getting a good tenant. Okay, then you might have a bit of a cash flow problem. But if you actually diverse out, some in residential, some in commercial, some in industrial, okay, then the whole portfolio won't be that bad, you see, as even though your industrial is not doing so well, but your residential is still doing okay. So you actually manage up. Okay. The key point of diversification is to minimize loss. This is what Mr. Dennis mentioned. Okay. So this is something that very important. Okay. So the next thing. Okay. This is law number 4. If you blindly invest, you are most likely to lose money. Okay. This is talk about knowledge. Okay. You must be very acquainted with what you're going to invest in. Okay, for example, you're trying to get a manager, you need trust manager to manage your funds, or someone to actually take care of portfolios. Okay, you must know that guy. Okay, you must do your due diligence. Okay, you must see his track record, portfolios, and what is his promises. Okay, what is his estimated ROIs that he can achieve for you, and what is the exit plan, entry plans. These are very important. You need to know the one who handle it in finance for you. Very important. Okay, or be it you're going to do this investment yourself. Okay, you're going to go into equity, you're going to do buy REITs, which is very popular these days. But are you very familiar with it? Do you have enough knowledge, okay, to actually make a sound investment decision? Okay, this is very important. So Mr. Dennis Ng also mentioned that you need to invest yourself in education. Get yourself acquaintance with the correct tools. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so like for example, a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, a lot of people actually invest in Bitcoins. Okay, without knowing how does Bitcoins actually works, cryptocurrency actually works, and they just see the result that people have. People are making a lot of money. Okay, the market swing up 20-30 folds, but do you understand the downside of it? Okay, so this is very important. as of today, I have not seen many make very good money from cryptocurrency. It was a very hit thing, very hot thing for the past 2-3 years, but it has been actually coming down for these 1 year odds. Okay, although I was told that actually Bitcoin went up quite a fair bit for the past 2-3 months. So you must at least understand the fundamental of it. What driven the price to go up? Okay, same thing for property. Okay, after today's news that the Singapore GDP actually tanked or even plunged, right? I have so many clients who actually call me and start to ask me very similar questions. How will this impact the market? How will this impact the property price? Okay, then I tell them straight to the face. Okay, as of now, we have not seen any major movement. I do not know what will happen next. Okay, but the thing is, we must also understand, if you understand Singapore property well, and if you understand real estate well enough, okay, we are not so subjected to GDP. Okay, why? Because we are very different from equity. Okay, equity that you buy today and you sell tomorrow, and you buy back the same stock in two months later, right? It's still that piece of stock, is still that number of share is with a different pricing. But whereas in real estate, if you really understand how it works, every real estate is different. Okay, yes, you might be looking at this particular project, you think that this unit is something of your choice, you think that this is something that I would like to stay in. Okay, and you hope that the price actually drop. Maybe, I do not know, maybe 2 months later, maybe there is a short corrections. The price maybe drop about 3 to 5%. I don't know. Okay. But the thing is, if you go back to that developer, you realize that, oh no, the unit is actually taken. Okay. This is the key difference between real estate and equity, because no units are similar, identical. The unit that you like now might not be available in 2 months' time. Okay, you cannot treat real estate investment or real estate purchase like equity, because whatever shares that you buy today and tomorrow, it looks exactly the same. It's just that with a different price tag. But whereas real estate is, every piece of real estate is different. It can be the same unit on the same stack, but it command different prices due to maybe this particular floor, it doesn't have a western sun, or maybe it's better renovated. Okay, so you must treat this a bit differently, because if you just go blindly, you take the school of arts for equity and you straight away replicate and put it in real estate, it might not really work at times. Okay, and also the holding period, you don't usually hold that long for equity, but in Singapore real estate, right, you need to at least hold 3 years to make financial sense. Okay, so because of this, how are you going to manage at 3 years? Okay, equity, you can go for a very short term. That means today I buy, the price went up for 10%, 20%, I can just cash out. Okay, but real estate, it doesn't work this way. Okay, so this is very important. He's trying to highlight to you. You cannot invest blindly. You must really know your trade before you go into it. If not, if you're getting someone to help you to do your trades, do your investment, then you must at least know the guy well. Understand the guy's character, his philosophy of trading, okay, his integrity. All these are very important that you need to find out before you trust your money with it, because no one cares your money more than yourself. If you don't take care of it, no one will take good care of it. Sad to say this, you probably have to answer for all the investment mistakes that you make. Okay, the one that's handling of fund, you can just say that it's just a market downturn. It's not within their expectations. Okay, and you cannot fault them because they did do their groundwork. Okay, but whether they are in the correct strategy as what you're looking at. Okay, this is very important that you guys need to really look out for. Okay, so the last point, which I think is very important, do not let your greed blind you. Okay, so this is the number one thing. Okay, there is a lot of cases that we have seen on the news, on the papers, also on internet, online. Okay, there are people who cannot scam by Ponzi scheme. Okay, because the investment maybe the investment in certain trees in Africa or wherever. Okay, some eco housing, public housing in Brazil. Okay, which promise you as high return as 10% per annum. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, sometimes it doesn't make sense. No, everyone knows that it doesn't make sense. But why do so many of them still go ahead? Because it's too good to be true. Okay, too good to let go. Okay, the fear of losing out come in again. Okay, what if I don't put in? What if the investment turn out to be good and people make a lot of money? Okay, so you must always be very prudent in whatever decision you make. Okay, if the deal is sound good to be true, usually it's likely to be a scam or something that is very risky. I will not say it's a scam. It might be a very risky game. Okay, so you must also understand your appetite. Okay, if you really want to go for these high risk, high return games, then maybe you can actually allocate a portion of it. Okay, depends on you, because if you're a high risk taker, then maybe this is something that you're looking at. But in my many years, I have been in investment for more than 20 years. Usually such games, it only give you the kind of result initially. Okay, after 1-2 years, then you will see the highlight of it. Okay, because the thing can't roll anymore. They're using a rolling game. Okay, so don't let greed blind you. This is very important. This is also very important in terms of equity and in terms of property also. If the returns is within your expectation, that means you have just set a take profit. That means this is the kind of profit that I'm supposed to go. That means I'm when I bought this stock, right, I was thinking that, okay, maybe $5 I have to let go already. I'm okay to let go. But a lot of time, right, when the target is achieved, right, a lot of us don't really let go because we thought that we could have made a little bit more. We're gonna squeeze a bit out of it. Okay, and before you know it, the market does turn or the stock does turn. Okay, so always stick to your plan. Okay, if you have a trading plan, you have an investment plan, stick to it. Okay, hit your profit, hit your target, and please let go. Okay, if you after you sell that stock, you sell that property, and the price continue to go up, then you just have to let it go, because it was never meant for you anyway, because you intend to profit at this price. Okay, so it's nothing of your concern actually. So this is very important. Okay, a lot of them make this mistake all the time. Okay, even sometimes when I do some of my stock investments, I also do the same thing. Okay, one way is, okay, especially for equity lah. So if your profit was hit very fast, that means you get your profit 50%, 30%, and you think that the market still can move. That means the stock is continuing to go up. Then take profit along the way. Okay, if hit your initial target point, then if you think that the price can still continue to go up, then maybe take a 30%, 40%. Then while hit another 10, 20%, then you take another 30% of it. So this way you will not put yourself at risk. Okay, if you really want your stock to run, then sell at the point that you cover, at least you took back your principal, your capital, and let your profit run. Okay, that will be a more prudent way lah. This is what I usually practice, and it does really benefit. And a lot of time after I take my profit out, that means take away my capital out, right? Within a while, the stock actually turned. Okay, luckily I actually took away all my capital already. Then I can allow the price to actually drop. Okay, so this is very important. Don't be greedy. Okay, always stick to the plan. Okay, so today I'm going to about to end. Okay, today I share about these 5 laws. Very important. I do a quick recap. Always have a saving plan. Save at least 10%, as what Mr. Dennis Ng recommend. Okay, second, grow your money. Okay, always put your money in in an instrument that at least beat your inflation. Anything less than that, you shouldn't be putting your money there. Okay, unless it's of situation now where everything is not going right, the market is very downturn, and there is no opportunity, then you temporarily put in a safer environment like your saving account or even your fixed D. But in long run, you shouldn't put your money in an instrument that doesn't at least hit the inflation. Okay. Third, okay, invest wisely. Okay, must always have knowledge. Okay, have proper knowledge of what you want to do. Okay, be very familiarized with your instruments. Okay, be it equity, be it property. Okay, if you're not sure, enter a small position. Always start with a small position. Someone may come up with you with a fantastic ROI in forex, in whatever. Okay, always try with a small sum first. Okay, see whether you're able to handle the appetite. The money might be good, but it's very volatile. Then your heart might not be able to take it. Then you might consider this might not be something for you. Okay, the third one, if you invest blindly, you're likely to lose money. So be very sure of what you're buying. Okay, this is very important. And last one, which I think this is very important, don't ever let your greed blind you. Okay, which I also make a lot of such mistake in my initial years. Okay, always wanted to have more, but end up we lose. Okay, so always have a plan. Okay, I couldn't emphasize more. Okay, the important to have a plan. Okay, today I'm going to I share with these 5 laws that actually Mr. Dennis Ng wrote in his book. Okay, in his book. Okay, in his book. So let me take out this. Okay. Okay. So for the coming weeks, I will continue to extract some of the important one. I felt that it's very important. Okay, especially in now time. Okay, the situations that we are facing. Okay, there are really a lot of things. Okay, there's I probably going to share on this thing. Okay, this one is something that I probably will be share. Okay, what on the next Facebook Live, Robert Kiyosaki definition of asset and liabilities are wrong, at least in Singapore context. Okay, at least in Singapore context. Okay, for those who don't know who is Robert Kiyosaki, right? He's the one who wrote the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a very powerful book. It actually I benefit a lot from this book also. But after I read this book, okay, by Mr. Dennis Ng, right? Yes, in fact, some of the concept that Robert Kiyosaki introduced in the book, it doesn't really, and I will not say it not make sense, but it was not so effective in Singapore context. Okay, in Singapore context, because in America, property there are cheaper, so they are easy for them to replicate. Okay, that means they can actually go multiply buying. But in Singapore, because of the restriction that we have, we might not be able to reproduce. Okay, that means we might not be able to own so many at one shot. Okay, so what he taught in the book might not really make sense, because if you follow exactly what Rich Dad Poor Dad highlight, okay, on asset definition of asset and liabilities, right, then you might not be able to make it good investment in Singapore. Okay, especially in property. Okay, so this will be a topic that I will cover on the next Facebook Live, which likely to be on Thursday. Okay, it will be very interesting because you will define a lot of the concept that this book Rich Dad Poor Dad have. Okay, and how Mr. Dennis Ng actually support his stand. Okay, with a lot of example. So I think you guys will enjoy the topics very much. So as of now, I think that's about it for me today. So you guys take care, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Bye-bye.